Hello there good people and welcome back to the channel. As you may have seen already, we were invited to Hawaii last week by Qualcomm to attend their 2025 Snapdragon Summit. And while most of the spotlight was reserved for their next-gen SoCs for phones, we still got some goodies on the laptop side of things. And with the X2 Elite, Snapdragon announced 3 new SKUs in their notebook lineup. In addition to all the initial information, Qualcomm also shared some early benchmark numbers, and while these have been achieved with reference devices, it should give us a rough early indication of what we can expect from their second-gen Windows on Snapdragon Silicon and what they have in store against Intel, AMD and Apple for 2026. Let's get into it. Again, as a bit of a disclaimer, Snapdragon flew us out to Maui so we can get these insights and share them with you guys. So they covered our flights and accommodation, but had absolutely no say in our content, and they also did not see any of this before you guys. But as I have already explained in a bit more detail in our first general overview video, all of the numbers I'm going to show you are from Qualcomm themselves. And while we have been able to validate their scores on reference devices ourselves, what you will see in the real world with retail machines might vary greatly from our numbers today. But with that out of the way, let me introduce you to the new X2 family of laptop silicon. And for now we get 3 different SKUs in the stack, and here it already gets a little bit confusing. The completely new addition to the overall lineup is the X2 Elite Extreme, featuring 18 cores, 12 of which are prime cores, with the remaining cores being performance variants. This overall layout is shared with the regular X2 Elite, and the main difference between the two chips are basically the clock speeds for these, let's say, clusters of cores, both when it comes to boost speeds and when all cores are needed to accelerate whatever you plan to do with your laptop. The other X2 Elite might share the same name with the X2 Elite I just talked about, but cuts the amount of prime cores in half, while it keeps the clock speed capabilities of its namesake. Sure, that's not confusing at all. The Extreme also gets the beefiest GPU and highest memory bandwidth, while the 2 lower tier chips have to accept some compromises here. But at least the new NPU is the same for the whole lineup, with up to 80 TOPS, which should also be the fastest NPU you can currently get, if you are able to find something to do with it. For those of you that want even more details when it comes to everything, please head on over to our website. I have linked our CPU page in the description below. But at a glance, 2 additional standout features that caught my eye have been up to 128 gigs of RAM support for all 3 chips and dual PCIe Gen 5 capabilities, should you have the need for a whole load of RAM and storage. However, we are not here to discuss spec sheets alone, but also to have a look at some early benchmark results. So let's dive right into it, and on the CPU side, well, judging from these numbers in Cinebench and Geekbench, it seems like only Apple with their M4 Max can really keep up here, especially with the very solid numbers for the X2 Elite Extreme. And by the way, not just in multi-core scenarios, but single-core looks equally impressive. Just one other thing to note, the reference designs used to achieve those numbers have apparently been running at around 60 to 70 watts, which is quite a bit more than what we have seen last year for most Snapdragon laptops. So again, take these numbers with a grain of salt until we know how much juice OEMs will allow the new silicon. On the GPU side, Qualcomm also promises some significant upgrades, and judging from these 3D Mark scores, it seems like they can back it up. Unfortunately, they use Solar Bay and Steel Nomad Lite, which we do not have that much comparison data in our database, but it should be enough to paint an early picture. Alright, so these are the numbers, but what does all of this mean for you and your experience? You can expect from devices being powered by the Snapdragon X2 Elite. Well, first of all, the new silicon got faster, so the overall performance potential, as being indicated by the synthetic results we have seen so far, should put Qualcomm in a very good starting position in late 2025 and early 2026. That said, overall performance has never really been the problem for Snapdragon laptops, but what Qualcomm has to do is give people the confidence that they can do everything they want to do and what they expect to be able to do. While that wasn't always the case when the first generation launched, the situation actually improved a lot in 2025, and with what they have shown us at Snapdragon Summit, it at least seems like they do everything they can to get more partners on board. So they talked about their partnership with Epic Games, announced the support for hardware-accelerated Unreal Engine 5 features, the support for easy anti-cheat, and even Fortnite will soon run natively on Windows on ARM. In addition, although that is more catered towards creators, Maxon was also on stage and announced native versions of Cinema 4D and ZBrush to cater to 3D artists. And given the much more powerful GPU, these are great signs that the platform as a whole is moving forward to be also interesting for power users. And I can't wait to try Resolve 20 once again for our videos. But not everyone is a creator, and Snapdragon also just targets the casual gamers for now. So how about more mainstream use cases? Well, I'd say even today, I would be very confident to recommend the platform to my friends and family, and my time with the ZenBook A14 was absolutely flawless, and I didn't run into any problems using this one for all of my basic daily computing needs, some light photo editing and streaming games and movies. And remember, this one is running on the slowest available Snapdragon silicon, but gives me near silent operation without any temperature problems, instant wake from sleep, and great overall battery life. So the new chips should be able to improve on that already good experience even more. But of course, Snapdragon is not existing in a vacuum, and Intel is also gearing up. With the launch of Panther Lake around the same time, we can expect the first X2 Elite laptops. And how much confidence OEMs have in the platform will also be a deciding factor. So it will be very interesting to see how many devices are announced in the months to come. But I'm actually very much looking forward to everything coming our way, since even 2025 has been great for consumers, since you have been able to choose between Snapdragon, Intel and of course AMD without any of the platforms really having to deal with any significant disadvantages, which I think is a great situation to be in when shopping for a new laptop. But that should already be it for today. Again, I know, this is all very theoretical once again, but it's a good first impression for what to expect. As always, please let me know what you think about Snapdragon's upcoming laptop flagship and which CPU platform is your preferred choice right now. Sound off in the comments below. Thanks a ton for watching, folks. Help us out by hitting that like and sub button on your way out. My name is Alex, you have been absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.